Hey, it's Meg, welcome back to my channel. So today I thought I would share with you a flip through of my junk journal. So this is an in progress flip as well, so I'm about halfway through with this journal, so I thought I would just share with you what I have so far, give you a bit of like an update. The journal that I'm using, it also houses the Junk Journal January challenge prompts that I did. That was a challenge I hosted with Mia Vibes over on Instagram, so I will leave the links to all the things you need to know about that in this video description if you want to go check it out. But basically this is the junk journal that I've been working in since the start of this year, so we're almost at the end of February now, so this is like 2 months worth. You'll notice it's not loads because I do also use just a normal regular journal, and I've been really into like my sketching and drawing in my sketchbook lately as well, to develop sort of my art that way. So this isn't the only thing that I use, but I thought I would share with you what I have so far. I use a Grace and Salt ink traveler's notebook to house my junk journal. This is a pocket size in, I forget what leather, but I know there's 2 separate colours here. The tab is a slightly different leather. I will leave it on the screen, all the different colours of this leather. I will say that I am a brand ambassador for Grace and Salt ink, but this is not like sponsored, or I'm not being paid to make this video or anything, so just letting you know that I do work with Rebecca, who owns this brand. But I've been really loving this this leather in particular, and especially in this size as well. And I put a little tassel on here as well. It was just hanging around in my craft room. I can't quite remember where these tassels came from, but I know you can get them pretty much everywhere in little craft stores and stuff. So all I did was I took off the elastic and then just like threaded it on and then redid the elastic at the back. So that's how I got that on there, in case you were wondering. But the journal itself is an A6, so it is slightly wider than the pocket size, which is why as you'll see, it does poke out. It doesn't bother me too much, and if anything, I quite like how it peeps out from the edge of the journal. I have added things like going past the edge, so it isn't actually too much wider, but that's just me adding extra bits and pieces coming off, like some fabric and lace. So I don't know if that bothers you, but I quite like the look of that, a bit like shabby chic kind of feel to it. So the journal itself, as I said, it's an A6 journal, and I made it myself. So it's a really simple binding method, just the 8-figure like stitch kind of thing. I have a video on my channel, shows you how to make a just single signature version of this. So all you would have to do is just repeat that like 4 times and add it onto your cover, if that makes sense. But for the cover, I just used some cardstock. I just double backed it just to give it a bit of sturdiness, so you can see it's kind of got a bit of durability to it. It's not covered with anything, but I might decide to cover it with some like packing tape or something like that. But yeah, and then this is just some like brown paper that again was like doubled up just for a bit more strength. I just really liked the contrast. And then as well, I bound it with embroidery thread, so it's nice and thick. You don't really want to be using like cotton because that can snap quite easily, but it seems to be holding up really well. It's getting quite chunky, but yeah, it is holding up really well. And the label on the front, I do believe I got from Hamer, I think. I'll leave up on the screen where I think I got it from. I've got the roll of, they come in like a big roll, so I'll pop on the screen exactly where I got those from. But I've also been adding like string and twine and stuff just to pop out the edges. Again, I don't know if you like stuff doing that in your journal, but I really love the look of it. So I'll hop on into the journal. So in the inside cover, I've just put some, it's like a matte silver washi tape just for decoration, and then these little typewriter stickers that just say my name. This was like my cover page for the Junk Journal January challenge. So it's just a simple collage using some stickers, some washi, some like little scraps I had, and then also some elements from the printable that went along with the challenge. So if you didn't know, I created a like a collaboration printable with Sunny, who is Mia Vibes, and we sort of themed it to the prompts, so that you could use it in your journal during that month. So they were available on our Patreon, so if you are interested, they are still available, and I'll pop the link down below. But it's just all different elements, and then Sunny did some nice little like phrases and quotes that you can put in your journal. So here I just did a like collage-y kind of page, using a little like sprocket print out of a quote. Again, some more elements, just sort of having a play around with my different materials really. This prompt was cozy vibes, so I just picked some like a color palette that went with just something that made me feel cozy, because I found this in a magazine. It's like a vintage, I think it's like 60s or 70s sort of like housekeeping thing, you know, teaching women how to do DIY, and I think it showed you how to put these shelves up, but I just really liked the colours and the lighting in this picture, so that's why I wanted to include that. And then I included some fabric that sort of overhanged on the page as well, just to add a bit of interest. Here I've got a pocket that I just put a little tag in that I made, and then again, my favourite thing to do in my journal is just a collage, normally with literally anything that I've got like lying around on my desk, anything that's saved from different projects. This is a little printout that I made on Canva of just a quote, and then I do believe these were from photos. You know, when you buy a frame and you get the like stock little kind of piece of paper that's advertising them in the front. This one actually had a really pretty design, so I decided to save that. And then I also put a little tab on here. I did go through a phase where I was obsessed with tabs. I don't use them as much anymore, but I do like the odd pop of colour, and I think it really like brings these pages together. So here, I think the prompt was textured, because I created a really layered spread, and it's like a bit of a cluster. I really love how this turned out. So there's like literally just like some tracing paper, and scraps of paper, and like a little sticker. I think there's a little sticker layered under here as well. And then again here I was just playing around with adding different pieces of paper, and then did some just journaling here. That was when I was watching You on Netflix. We literally watched like 2 seasons of it in a week, because it was Christmas break off work. So this was the morning pages prompt, so I was literally using coffee packaging, and then this was a picture of like the sky. This was a kind of layered page. I sort of did my morning journaling, but then I also wanted to cover it up as well, so I just popped a piece of brown paper over the top, and I really like how simple this page is. I do find in this journal I play around a lot with, some pages are really busy, and then some pages they'll be quite simple. So this page, it looks quite simple, but then you turn over and this page is quite busy. Not overwhelmingly so, but I really like how full this page looks. Like there's a lot to look at. So you've obviously got like this like quote here, little element and drawing here. I did this with a stencil, and again playing around with these like textured clusters and creating sort of backgrounds, not necessarily to be writing over, but just to add interest to the page, just playing around with like composition and how things look. This is a page I still need to finish actually. I created a little bit of a pocket here using some packaging from Viennese Whirls, just because I liked how it looked, but I need to come back and finish this. This is an element from a Patreon printable as well, and I just wanted to create the collage so that you could still see this really pretty illustration from a vintage book, which is on the page. So when I come back to this, I will probably concentrate on adding elements down here because I really want to preserve this. So as well with the junk journal, it's really interesting trying to obviously not necessarily cover up everything that you've got on the original page, and sort of working with it and how you can incorporate different things. This again, we go from quite busy to a simple page, and again I need to come back and add some journaling here, but I just created a border with some stickers, and then used a piece of decorative paper to create a background. Didn't really want to cover it up because I really liked the pattern, so I just thought I would pop one of Sunny's little quotes on this page. Again, another simple page. I do kind of want to add more to this page. It's just thinking of how I can do it without messing it up in a way, but I really like this little scribbly floral border that I created, and then I think this prompt was save a tag, so that's why there's a tag in here. But yeah, I do really like this pattern, but I do think something about this page looks a little bald. So oh, this is one of my favorite pages, so, and it is from my birthday as well. So yeah, my birthday's in January, so I decided that the prompt for that day was going to be like vintage themed, but I just really love how this turned out. I've got all sorts going on here. I've got washi scraps, I've got paper scraps, I've got a little bit of a cluster here, some text that I've cut out. I just really love how this page turned out, especially here I've got some black paper with like white pen over the top. I think I really like how that pops. This is a frame that was also on the printable that I designed, and I think I was going to put something in here, but then once everything came together I just felt like it didn't need anything, and then I put a picture here, so it was like my birthday flowers that I'd got. But yeah, I just really love how this page turned out. Again, it's another one of those like full, I don't know, full like pages, lots going on, lots to look at. So here I just again wanted to save this background element, so I just popped, I think this was a piece of an envelope, the bit that goes around to close it, and it had a really like nice edging to it, so I just saved that and used some white pen, and then just popped some little stamps, and then a bit of a washi collage, washi overload maybe. Added quite a few different things. So this was a tracing paper page, so I attached it to the page behind, and then I've got a few things that I've clipped on here. So this is actually something I've torn from another junk journal just because I really liked the different elements on it, so it's going to be a journal spot that I just need to add to at some point. This is a little envelope that I created, a sort of writing spot that I need to come back to and add some journaling to. And then this was a little project that I made over on my Patreon, creating a little like collage card kind of thing. And then I'm just keeping it in this vellum or glassine bag. I can't seem to get it back in. There we go. So I just keep these clipped on here. Maybe they'll find other homes in my journal, but for now I'm just keeping them clipped on here. This is another one of my favourite pages. Again, I just really love the layered collages, and I used a lot of neutral tones here because I think that was the prompt. And I really love how this turned out with the collage for nature lover. And I was just, I think I had these, they came on some watercolours that I'd got from Little Rainbow Moon. So I just popped these in just because I really liked the packaging. And then just a photo of me, because sometimes I forget to put photos of myself in my journal, just so it's nice to look back on in years to come. This page, it's not got much writing on it, but again, I quite like how the composition turned out. So you'll see I'm quite obsessed with taking pictures of the sky, so that's what I include quite a bit in my journal. Got a few different things that I had lying around, like a sticker, a little bit of a quote, and I drew the Cadbury logo. I think this was Sweet Treat, and I really like Cadbury, so I included that. This, I'm just going to cover this just because it's got a photo of me and someone else, so I won't subject them to the internet, but this is basically another one of those kind of busy pages, and I included a little envelope here. I thought that was quite cute. Another little washi cluster, and I also drew with my Faber-Castells just to add some elements as well, and this is a printable element too. So, and then just a little bit of journaling there as well. This was this textured? Maybe this might have been textured actually. So I just wanted to create a collage with all different things that I quite like. So my like florally elements, these like illustrations, you've got some neutral tones, this like yellowy orange colour as well. And then I also worked in some like washi tape, not to be too overpowering though. And then this is another one of those printable elements. I did have this lined paper here and intended to do some writing on it, but I just decided that the page didn't really need any more. I'm learning a lot in this journal to finish a page when it's finished and not keep working it or keep thinking, oh, I can cover this up, because if I'm having that much of a hard time creating a page, then I'll just move on to the next page. And then normally I come back maybe like the next day or in the next week, the next month even, and I think, oh yes, I've come across this element or this like technique that will be perfect for this page. So try not to pressure yourself and rush your pages, because you can come back to them. So here again, it's a bit more of a simple page. This was, I think, favourite drink or tea and coffee. And this was a drawing that I had done for one of my printables too. And then this is packaging from tea. Not from tea that I drink. I don't like flavoured teas, but flavoured teas seem to have the prettiest packaging. So I just used that, and then this was what the tea was called, Mindful Moment. But I just thought that went well in terms of a phrase for my journal. And then here, this is from one of Jordan Clark's zines that I think I've printed out. This was from an envelope that I got in the post, and then this is another one of those little journal card envelope things, and I've put a little closure on it as well. I'll leave a link down below to the tutorial that I followed to make these, if you want to go and check them out yourself. So here I've concentrated on doing like a strip kind of collage coming in from the side of the page. Most of these pages that I'm showing you now, there are YouTube videos showing you the process of them. If you go check out the Junk Journal January playlist, you'll see Journal With Me's for a lot of these. And then I've also done some Journal With Me's over on my Patreon of some other pages. So there are Journal With Me's of these pages. So if you're wondering how I've done a certain thing, then yeah, go and check out one of the videos. So this again is another printout from Jordan Clark's zine. Just really liked the composition. I think I did something underneath that I didn't quite like, so I just decided to stick it over the top. This was 2 prompts in one, so I think this was favourite things, and then this was feeling good, I believe. But here I was playing around with scanning in my drawings and sketches that I had done in my sketchbook and using them as my own like collage ephemera. So I don't know why I'm really obsessed with drawing like peaches and cherries and things like that, oranges, lemons. They're just really fun to draw, so I scanned one of those in that I'd done, and then also just a flower as well. I think this was just like a sketchy fine liner drawing that I had done, and then again incorporating different collage elements. I did some writing over the top of some tracing paper and used that as a bit of a layer, and then this was a little quote that I printed out. So yeah, just having fun experimenting with different materials. And speaking of different materials, this was the mixed media page. So this was, I collaged the background as I normally do with all my different papers, and then I came in with acrylic paint. So I picked sort of pinks and whites to kind of create this background. It was just random really. There's some like little dots and stuff, but I wanted to make sure that you could still obviously see the vintage papers showing through. And then this is another picture of the sky, but I just thought it really matched the colours on this page. And then I just stamped this on with my alpha stamps. This was a page that I did over on my Patreon, so I wanted to do sort of a page that reflected on the year previously and then goals for the year ahead. So, and then I created this like little collage of flowers using cutouts from a vintage book, and then also adding in my own illustrations as well to sort of create a little cluster. It goes like across the page, looking forward to the new year. So I just wrote some things down reflecting on that. This, I really like how the composition of this turned out actually, in terms of this negative space. I've been really enjoying as well working with negative space and like using it to my advantage, so not necessarily filling the whole page, but still having that filled look. So you can see here I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, I've got 5 different washi tapes on this page, but they're just sort of dotted around the place. Got some collaged papers in the background. That's a picture of me again. I've just been including some pictures of me, why not? This is quite meta, you might think, but this is a picture of me holding this journal, and I'm wearing the same cardigan as well. That's funny. But I just wanted to document the end of Junk Journal January, and because as well I'll probably take this journal out of this cover and then use this cover for a new journal, so I wanted to sort of know which cover I had used. And then these little stickers, the little letter stickers, they came from a moleskin diary that I got. They are just included as a little freebie in the back, so that's where they came from. Here's quite a plain page, but I was really ill, so that's all I really wanted to do. But again, I quite like the negative space, and it kind of represents how I was feeling. And then here, back to more of that like collagey busyness in a way. I might come back and add some journaling here. I just didn't have anything to say at the time. This is like an envelope flap that I've included. Again, some more of those alpha stickers. And then this is one of those envelopes that you untwist like this. And then I think is there anything inside? I think I've just put some, yeah, this was just some packaging that I liked. I just put in there for now. But obviously that's a really good spot to add some extra journaling to, especially like hidden journaling, that kind of thing. It just ties straight back up like so. And then I think this envelope actually came in a Happy Mail to me, because I don't remember buying this washi tape. So I think this came from a Happy Mail quite a few years ago, and I've just dug it out now. This is a more recent spread. So this was the Valentine's Day page I think I did a journal with me for on my YouTube channel, just using some elements from my February printable over on Patreon. And then I just collaged a few elements together, really, like this little frame and some things that came through the post. And then again, I want to add some journaling into this. I think we've got some blank pages here. Sometimes if I don't necessarily feel inspired to do anything on that particular page, I will just leave it and come back to it. Here are some random washi samples. I bought a new set of washi tapes. I just really liked how they looked, so I wanted to include those in my journal. I think especially if you look at, say, these four, they're really pretty, really go together. So they're a nice little background. I might end up just journaling in the negative space here. And this is the most recent page in this journal, I believe, yes. And this was a Patreon video that I did, going through using different materials in your junk journal, more of a mixed media spread. So that's over on my Patreon. So that's it for now for my junk journal. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing these pages, and then I'll be sure to create a full flip through showing you the second half of this journal when I have completed it. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss when I post some more journaly content. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Sailors passing on the street, are you ready?